When I was 26, female, my parents had another child, who we shall call Emma. Emma is a smart, disciplined, and very kind person. She's my family's favorite. I come from a very rich family and a known family in China. We have several companies and properties, so that's why everything she wants is always given, while I had to do extra chores just to get extra allowance. When I was 14, I was given a red pocket for Chinese New Year. Emma also got one, and when we opened it, Emma received a bunch of red bills. If I remember correctly, she got 12 red bills, signifying they want her to have a prosperous new year and hope that money will never be a problem for her. While I only got 6 red bills, I cried, saying it's not fair. As punishment for my tantrums, my parents took my red pocket and told me to go to my room. I remember being comforted by Emma, and she even offered to split it in half, but I declined and told her to leave. It's been that way since. Every Chinese New Year, Emma always receives 12 items, such as gold and money, and even receiving blessings and praises from the elders, while I, the eldest, always got a smaller amount. And as I grow older, I received a smaller amount due to their excuse that I'm getting old. 2 years ago, for the Chinese New Year, my family all went out for the Chinese New Year, even as far as to give all the employees a red pocket that is very thick. When my grandfather started giving every grandchild their red pocket, everyone but my sister got one. It was suspicious, but I didn't care. My grandfather called for Emma and told her to take this. He handed her an envelope, and when she read the contents of the envelope, she started celebrating. Turns out, she received 12% of one of the companies my family owned. I was mad. It was not fair. For context, in order for me to receive extra money from my school, I started working at the company. I learned everything that needed to be learned. I started projects that benefited the company. I did everything to boost the sales, yet all my efforts were not rewarded. Instead, they gave Emma the rewards I deserved. I saw red that day. I lashed out at everyone, questioning why I didn't receive the shares, that it was not fair, and Emma didn't deserve the shares. My emotional outburst was met with criticism. My father got up and slapped me and told me I was an ungrateful child and screamed at me to get out of his house, as he does not want an ungrateful child to stay at his house anymore. So I left. I didn't even pack. I just left and drove off. 2 years had passed, and I moved to another country. I didn't contact any of them, nor did they contact me. I didn't bother to find out what happened after I left. All I know is they basically disowned me. It was ridiculous to disown me just because I lashed out at them. Anyway, on February 2nd, my father emailed me, asking for my attendance at the New Year at their house. When I read the email, I cried. There was nothing else, just asking for my attendance, not even telling me they were sorry. I had a mental breakdown that day and even took a 2-day leave at the company I currently work for. I didn't respond, and now, 3 weeks later, I receive another email asking me to visit China to spend time with them, even offering to pay for my tickets and allowance. I'm hesitant to reply, but I want to go back to China and spend time with my gong gong. Should I go back? Yeah, I don't know what gong gong means. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. I tried Googling it, but all I could see was something about a water god. Anyway, this is a pretty rough situation. It seems weird that they'd contact her out of the blue after all these years and not want anything. I don't know. Maybe they are sorry, and they're planning some surprise thing for her. Anyway, OP makes an edit. Edit explanation. My family is very strict, so my emotional outburst was seen as defiance. Question. How would you know that they hated you? My father fired me after I left and banned me from stepping foot at the mansion and the companies we owned. I was also not allowed to visit any properties. My mother told her friends that she wished she never gave birth to such a defiant child. I cried at her words because how could a mother wish her child did not exist? My brother blocked me on his social media account, but I saw his final post before blocking me. It said, "Do not contact." My name. She is not our family anymore. We have no more ties with her. Emma was also mad because she thinks I look down on her. My aunts, uncles, and cousins decided to not talk to me. So, basically, I was excommunicated. Minor update. I responded to the email and sent them this following question and message. Why did you contact me? What is your purpose for contacting? How are you and the family? That's all I asked. I'll give an update if they contact me again. Edit 2. Hello everyone. Here is a mini update regarding the email. My father responded to my email saying he contacted me because he missed me and he was apologetic for how he treated me and wanted to reconcile. I sent another email with a link to a video call and told them to call me at 2 p.m. Chinese time. In the call was my mother, father, brother, Emma, and my grandparents from the paternal side. We gave each other basic greetings and talked about what was happening in China and my life here, but I got tired of small talk. So, I started asking why my efforts were never rewarded and why they were always strict with me, and I got an answer. In our culture, being born in the year of the dragon was a lucky thing. It means you will be blessed and always dominate whatever field you work in. Emma was born in the year 2000, so that's why my paternal family saw it as an auspicious blessing and decided Emma should be around the company more, as she may bring more blessings. It basically explained why she always receives 12 items, while I only get what they give me. I never fully hated Emma, but I admit that there is a feeling that will sometimes arise when I feel that they prioritize her. Again, as for me, it was not planned back then. My parents only wanted a single child, a boy. I was born 3 years after my brother, and although they cared for me, my parents had a hard time loving me as they saw me as an extra child. I asked them why they had Emma, and they answered that Emma was going to bring blessings to her family. I broke down and screamed that it was not fair, that I was their child too. My mother and father broke down, saying they were sorry, and if they could turn back time, they would love me more. They said it broke their hearts to see one of their children grow without them overseeing my progress. They regretted not being at my piano recital and not being there when I graduated from high school. I cried, saying it's not fair that I didn't get a happy childhood. And basically, at that point, everyone started crying. I asked why they did not reward my efforts at the company, and my grandfather admitted that his views were outdated, and he did not want me to get any position at the company. But he apologized, saying he broke my heart with his actions and told me if I moved back, he'll give me a position of director. I know what you're thinking. The company is going down, that's why they want me back. But no, the company is still strong and provides a stable income. The call lasted for 1 hour, and basically, we talked about the family, how my life here is. I even told them that I went to the Taylor Swift concert in Australia. My parents were happy that I was happy, so they offered to buy me floor tickets at Taylor's concert in Singapore. My mom told me that Gong Gong misses me and to come visit him in Shanghai. She even told me she'd pay for my tickets and hotel just to visit them. I accepted the offer. I don't know how I could just forgive them like that, but honestly, I miss my family, especially Gong Gong. So, I'll be flying back at the end of February. So, I'll give an update once I get back. Okay. So Gong Gong might be like a pet or something. But yeah, anyway. I still can't help but think like the parents' explanation for all of this is so selfish and, backwards. Like, I'm aware that their culture is completely different to the way I grew up and probably most of you as well, but still, to base their family's fortune and misfortune on the year a child was born, at the detriment of, their children's own happiness, it's just absolutely absurd to me. I don't know what about you guys. Let's read some comments. I'm sorry that you've been treated this way. Clearly, you deserve much better from family. I'd guess that they want something from you that only you can provide, related to finances, medical, or health, perhaps. These people have already shown you who they are. Nothing has changed. If they want to see you for you, then they can come to visit or agree to a neutral location. If you're curious but want to protect yourself, suggest a virtual meetup. They'll make it happen if they want it badly enough. Do not go back. They want something from you. You've moved on from that life, so stay moved on for your own sake. They probably want something from you. Oren or Emma can't have kids and wants you to be a surrogate. Someone is ill, and they need you to be a live-in maid. It could be anything. Block them all. None of them deserve you. Don't tell them where you are, what you do. Nothing could be someone is terminally ill, and they expect you to forgive them and emotionally blackmail you. Yeah, very serious things to consider. Let's see what OP does. Update. Hello everyone. Thank you for patiently waiting for an update. Here's what happened. I met up with my family at a hotel in Guangzhou, and we had a heartfelt talk. I tried not to speak with my parents and siblings, but they kept asking me things about my life abroad and what I work as. My aunt may have seen my discomfort, so she told them to let me eat first. I admit it was quite awkward since, to me, the pain of rejection and betrayal is still fresh. When we were done eating, we started having a conversation, and my aunt encouraged me to speak my heart out and tell all the wrongdoings that were done to me. After I was done, I was tearing up. Luckily, we were in a private room, so I cried my heart out that night. My cousins comforted me and fed me moon cakes. The night ended with all of us crying. Overall, we had a slight reconciliation. They asked if I wanted to go back home, but I declined, saying I had a plan to catch up to. They were shocked, thinking I'm already going back abroad, but I said I was just visiting Gong Gong. My mother told me to postpone the flight so our entire family could visit Gong Gong. I agreed, so I canceled my flight and booked a hotel, as I didn't want to be back in the place where I was humiliated and betrayed. I spent my remaining time with Gong Gong, which was 2 weeks. But during our tea, he gave me a folder and told me to open it, and I got the surprise of my life. It was a legal document that contains half of the company my Gong Gong owned. He told me that life keeps screwing me over. It's not accurate, but it's what I interpreted it as. He told me I deserve all the success I achieved, and he's giving me full control of the company he owns once he passes or when I'm ready. I cried, and my family was happy for me, and overall, I finally felt that I'm needed and appreciated. Anyways, the entire trip was too long for me to share everything that happened, so I'm only writing the important events. Thank you for all your support and kind messages. It helped me see the bigger picture and guided me to make the right path. Edit. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your comments, but I would like to clarify one thing. My Gong Gong is the only one who supported me these past 2 years, so I assure you there is nothing suspicious with his actions, okay? I did a bit more Googling, and Gong Gong just means paternal grandfather. Sorry for my ignorance. Before, I just had no idea what she was talking about. Anyway, yeah, great inning for Opie. I mean, almost too great, right? It seems too good to be true. I'm a bit concerned about how seemingly obsessed she is with these monetary assets, like companies and stuff that her family owns. I just can't help but feel like she felt extremely entitled to something that, ultimately wasn't hers in the first place. But I get that it's a family thing, and over there, that's just what they do. But to me, yeah, it's just a weird mindset. Let's read some final comments.
Ismelarat.
There's something going on with the business or company that you're not aware of. I cannot believe that in just 2 years, your whole family had a change of heart after going to the extent of disowning you. Nah, I think you need to find out what's actually happening in your company. What has prompted them to give you ownership of half the company? To me, it seems like a trap. I'm worried about either the family knows you're inheriting half or all of the business and that's why they're being nice all of a sudden. Or worse, you are being given a bad business with lots of debts. Check in with a lawyer or PI. Take everything they say with a grain of salt. I was confused because I expected these people to need a kidney or something from Opie. The last comment has me worried. I hope they're all sucking up because Opie is poised to inherit. Maybe she finds the means to give them the middle finger in a culturally appropriate way that doesn't make her lose face, coming from the same culture. This degree of superstition and irrationality is not that surprising. My father would throw a violent temper tantrum, like breaking dishes, kitchen furniture, etc. If my mother made dinner with 7 dishes, apparently because it's symbolic for something around death. Then, when he got ill, he blamed his illness on her due to having made dinner with 7 dishes at some point in the distant past. Like, years had elapsed. People from non-East Asian cultures may find the family's actions suspicious, but coming from a similar cultural background, I could kind of see them doing this without ill intention, although they were abusive in the first half of the story. Disclaimer. I'm not justifying their abuse nor ruling out the possibility of bad intentions. I'm just saying that Chinese parenting can be abusive as hell in Weston's eyes, but the parents might not actually hate the child as much as when a Western parent does the same thing. I'm fully aware this is unhealthy, and I was also a victim. I'm just pointing out the reality of this culture. Opie said she had a strict upbringing, then for life piety, or honoring your parents and being grateful for what they did, should definitely be in the book. Also, Chinese elderly really care about face, especially in a rich family like this. The way she lashed out, slapped these 2 important cultural values in the face, dishonoring her parents and grandparents, and doing it without saving anyone's faces. The dragon kid brings good luck is also pretty realistic. I don't know why, but Chinese folks who run businesses tend to believe in these a lot. Dragon person, fun crystals, certain deities, spells, you name it. Note: people who are born in the year of the tiger are often excluded or restricted from many traditional events, as their energy is considered very harsh towards others. I would also say her sister being the youngest also played a huge part. Chinese parents and most of all grandparents have a tendency to spoil the youngest, probably because traditionally the older siblings are expected to carry more responsibilities and lead a good example for the younger ones to follow, while traditionally also getting more resources from the family. Back to OP's story, I can see the family slowly going from being so harsh to missing her to the point of doing this without ill intentions. It's one of the things Chinese parents do. They love you, but good intentions go to the extreme and become abusive, or they're too proud to admit they're wrong because parents can never be wrong, which is also a saying in Chinese. But when she really went no contact and the reality set in, traditional Chinese culture still valued family as a whole a lot, in a way more than mainstream Western culture, I would say. And they probably still love her, so they regretted it. They might have even went back to think about their own actions. But Asian parents, of course, didn't know how to apologize, so no one reached out until one of the elderly finally spoke up. If the grandparents were still mad, it would never end like this. OP mentioned gong gong, the equivalent of papa in South American English, referring to grandfather, missed her, so I guess that solved the case. OP's feelings are valid, and she should be free to choose whatever she wants to do, whether it's a full reconciliation or being skeptical or keeping her distance. I hope OP is getting the real appreciation and affection she deserved a long time ago, but also hope that she stays independent from the family, as that's her source of confidence and happiness as of now. Not going to lie, traditional East Asian parenting sometimes sucks real bad, though. I had to go to therapy for 5 years before getting over mine, but that's another story. Oh, that's really interesting. I love the little insight we got into, the different cultures. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Perhaps you got a similar story you'd like to share. Anyway, that's it from that story, and we'll move on to another one. Okay, jumping on relationships. This one was written by a now deleted account, and it's titled, "My boyfriend seems to think that I have to care and be sad about his cheating. He told me he cheated and started crying, and I wasn't surprised, as he does something stupid every time we have any disagreements. Honestly, all I felt was a big relief. I'd been thinking about telling my family about him, but I dodged the bullet. It would have ended up a big embarrassment, but now they'll never know he even exists. Of course, it does extinguish any attraction I have towards him, and I'd never marry him, but the apology gift is very nice, and I don't care enough to ruin that for myself. But besides that, I'm launching a new business soon, and this is not the time to be emotional. Break up, move out, take revenge, etc. My job and this business are going to mean a whole lot more to me in a year, even 5 years, than any of this nonsense. To me, being at peace and getting along well at home is more important right now, so I've been cool, gracious, and focused on work. However, he keeps constantly disturbing me during the day, asking why I don't care, if I'm not jealous of him, how sad he is, etc. He keeps taking jabs at me too, which does actually irritate me. I feel like he wants me to feel as low as he does, but I don't get it. If you make a mistake, why would someone letting you off easy be a problem? Wow, she's letting him off. I thought by the title it meant that, he confessed, she broke up with him, but just showed no emotion. But she's actually just going on with her life. I don't quite understand why she wouldn't just break up with him and be done with it. Like she said, the business and all those things going to be more important in a year anyway. Plus, this guy sounds like an idiot. Let's look at the comments. Sounds like he almost wanted the validation of feeling important in the way of getting an extreme reaction from you and showing how much you cared, even if you broke up with him immediately. Not really sure why you'd bother staying with him, though. He's a cheater, he's self-pitying, and he sounds rather desperate. Sounds like more hassle than it's worth. I had that reaction to being cheated on, too. It was like waking up from a dream and not remembering it. My brain instantly switches to just feeling like it was a stranger. Oh well, F him, because he knows if you still loved him and saw a future with him, you'd be devastated. Your apathy indicates you no longer care about him and are, I hope, just getting your ducks in a row before you leave him. He doesn't want that. So he wants the devastated response of a loving, dedicated partner. Yeah, sounds about right. And if Opie is planning on leaving him, in the near future, it's pretty ice cold that she drags him along for a little bit. God knows it's what he deserves anyway. What are your thoughts about that one? Let me know down below. Otherwise, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.